My name is Charles Wimmer.
And I'm Buffy Wimmer.
We've been married for 35 years. I am a first-generation believer. At an early age, I was exposed to a lot of things that a normal family boy would have not been exposed to. I carried much of that into my marriage and was an imposter to Buffy in regards to who I was in that life. Early in our marriage, there was infidelity that was unconfessed on my part before God and also before Buffy. And I was greatly convicted by the Holy Spirit that for our marriage to go forward, that confession had to take place before reconciliation could ever begin. And I also knew when I did that confession that it was going to break Buffy's heart.
I think when Charles told me that night, I will never forget it. I was angry, I was shocked. I wanted to know all the questions that women want to know: who, what, when, where. There's something that rose up in me that I didn't even know existed. There was an anger that was so deep inside of me. I spent time on our back porch just weeping. It rocked my world. I was an emotional mess because all the years before, I'd always said, well, I'm going to stay with my husband unless there's infidelity. I had voiced that, and here I was. It's in my face. And God told me when I asked him, what should I do? I want you to stay with Charles because I have something in store for the two of you all. That's going to blow your mind. And so then I was mad at God because he wanted me to stay. And yet I trusted him enough and believed in him that he had the good for me and for my husband, that I was going to be obedient. And so slowly but surely the anger began to subside and forgiveness began. It was a choosing, it wasn't a feeling, it was a choosing. We started the process of reconciliation. That was when we first took to becoming one, to enrich our marriage. And we began to, what was a marriage that had kind of imploded, you know, it wasn't real, and there was this implosion that took place. We began to rebuild it the way that God designed it to be. And the truth of the change of the man was expressed to me in all kinds of ways, and how he served me and loved me and was patient with me. He wasn't hiding any longer. I mean, I had a changed husband and I could not deny that. And here we are this many years later, and that's why we can honestly say that I think we love each other more today than the day we married.
Amen. That in order for God to make a man, he's got to break a man. And it was the intercepting, if you will, of the Holy Spirit that started that process. Recently, we celebrated 35 years doing an all-day hike on a glacier in New Zealand. And that's just a picture, a glimpse of the blessing that God promised Buffy those years back, 20-some years ago, for her to stay.
I am so thankful I stayed. I would have missed so much. He's not only my husband and my lover, but he's my best friend.
And you would have missed my kisses too.